Hello, Maxilla here. Long time no video. Yeah, I moved to Japan. So, yeah, I'm teaching English. That's pretty much it. That's why I haven't posted a video for ages. I've just got my rig here, so now I'm starting to play games again. And I'm thinking about putting more videos up. So, this is Battlefield 4, the beta. And this is my first impressions video. So I guess the first thing we should talk about is this Levolution business. What is it? What happens? And what does it do to your gameplay? Well, firstly, in the Siege of Shanghai, the only map that I actually played on, there are some major changes in Levolution and there's some small changes. For instance, the skyscraper in the middle that you're seeing right now, that hole collapses and sort of gives you this trench warfare style rubble fighting business going on. It's quite good and it's very impressive the first time you see it. I'm interested to see how that's going to affect the game in the future and if people are really going to care. But at the moment it's impressive, gives you a wow moment, but is it going to really change up the gameplay? I think it will. The Siege of Shanghai, when the skyscraper comes down, you basically turn verticality into these nooks and crannies of like trench warfare, and it's a really interesting moment when it comes down and everybody rushes to the flag to try and cap it first, and results in very, very intense fighting. It's great fun. The smaller Levolution stuff is interesting, but it's not as impressive. Basically, you can pull shutters down on buildings with buttons, and you can make bollards go up in the middle of bridges so the vehicles can't get over. But it's less impressive, like I say, but it's great fun and changes up the gameplay somewhat and makes the maps feel less static and gives you more options to play around with, more strategic value basically to the map. I always felt that Battlefield 3, some of the maps just felt very static and not much going on, even with the destruction. Next thing really to talk about is the graphics, and I personally think the graphics are a big improvement from Battlefield 3. I've heard some people moaning that they're not the big improvement that you were kind of looking for from sort of Bad Company to Battlefield 3, but they've been really homing their skills and making the destruction and the engine run better, so I can't really complain about that. I think personally that the game looks amazing. It looks gorgeous. There are some odd textures every so often, some weird pop-in when you're high up and you're looking down, but other than that, the game looks great. The weapon models look amazing, the character models look amazing, the animations look amazing. I mean, when there's a couple of characters stood next to each other, you can see them looking at each other. I mean, their heads actually turn, and when they're looking at each other, it doesn't feel like a static game. It doesn't feel like you're playing a computer game character. It actually feels like your character has some life, and the people you're fighting around have some life in them. It's the minor touches that like that I think that Battlefield 4 is really going to shine with. Gunplay, probably the most important thing of the first-person shooter. How does it play out? Is it good? And how does it differ from Battlefield 3? Well, they seem to have done quite a bit with weapon balancing. Again, this is speculation. I've not seen the gun stats, and we are getting a whole bunch of new guns in the game, so it's interesting to see what it's going to play out like when we get all the guns in the game. But at the moment, from how it feels to me, the guns operate a lot better than Battlefield 3. The guns seem to not kick as much, the recoil on them seems to be a lot lower. The only one complaint that I have is on the engineer class, the SMG that you get to start out with. It kicks a lot, and it seems you have to really pump a lot of bullets into people to get them to actually go down. So maybe those guns could do with a buff, but again, I don't know. Maybe I'm playing the class slightly wrong. It's maybe slightly different in Battlefield 4 than it is in Battlefield 3. In the beta, the build that we got is running pretty well. I'm running it on a 690, I'm running it on ultra graphics, and I get between about 50 and 70 frames per second. I've had about 80 in some of the enclosed spaces, and I have had drops down to about 30 when stuff's going on, like the Levolution stuff can really drop your frame rate. But they got a lot of optimizing to do, and it is a beta, so you kind of got to take that sort of stuff with the impression that they're going to fix it. I have seen floating textures. I mean, when the main skyscraper comes down, all the parasols seem to float in the air and do nothing. But we've had a week of the beta, and it's been great fun, and I've really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the full release, and I can't wait. I was less impressed when I saw the E3 footage than I was for the Battlefield 3 footage that I saw, but now having played it, I can see that this is going to be a great game. I am looking forward to getting it, and I can't wait to play the full version. So that's it. Very positive first impressions. I've had the game since Monday, and it's now Sunday as I'm putting this up, and it's great. It's great fun. The levels are amazing. They're so intricate compared to the Battlefield 3 levels. If we compare this to something like Sen's Crossing, where pretty much any way that you went as an infantryman, you're going to get stuck in a choke point, and things just turned into a massacre. Again, with Metro, so many of the pathways just turned into massacres, and then just ended up being overly frustrating, getting pushed back to your spawn, and then just being sat there as you get massacred and in your spawn point. But with levels like this, they're so open, and there's so many different pathways, so many different alleyways, buildings that you can go through, over the bridges, under the bridges, use the helicopters, use the boats that have been put into the game. There's just so many ways to get about that. I highly doubt spawn killing is going to be an issue, especially in this map. Again, we don't know. We've only seen one other map, so again, speculation. But first impressions, very, very positive. Really enjoying it. Siege of Shanghai is a great, great map. Can't wait to play the other one. Can't remember what it's called, but it's going to be great. Can't wait. See you on the Battlefield. See you later. Sayonara!